Sawadee krap. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on Newsline. We're broadcasting live on NBT Radio Thailand, FM 88, and NBT World. It's Friday, April 1st, and you're with me, Suraphal Lautharanarit. And let's start off with today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. First up, the Prime Minister has invited U.S. investors to take part in infrastructure projects in Thailand's special economic zones. On the occasion of his visit to the United States to take part in the 4th Nuclear Security Summit taking place in Washington, D.C., Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha attended a dinner hosted by the U.S.-ASEAN Business Council and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The Prime Minister took the opportunity to report on Thailand's reform progress to the assembled business leaders and government representatives. He affirmed that his administration is operating under the principles of stability, prosperity, and sustainability, and explained how these principles will serve as a foundation for economic growth. General Prayut asserted that the Thai economy has many strengths and that his government has amended several regulations to attract investment, especially in its special economic zones. The Prime Minister also affirmed that Thailand intends to join the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP, to create new avenues for trade. He asked that the U.S. support Thailand and ASEAN in bringing the TPP to fruition. Accompanying the Prime Minister at the 4th Nuclear Security Summit in Washington, D.C. is Deputy Government Spokesperson Major General Virachon Sukhontapatipak, who had a chance to speak with Alexander Feldman, President and CEO of the U.S.-ASEAN Business Council. Now let's take a look at this interview from the U.S. Capitol.
I am now with Mr. Alex Feldman, the President and CEO of U.S.-ASEAN Business Council. He's a very important man. He is a key person who make tonight happen, who make the dinner tonight happen, who bring the U.S. private sectors, business sectors, to come to meet with the Prime Minister, General Prayut Chan-o-cha. And thank you for being with us. I also, grateful for this opportunity, not because I have the opportunity to be here, but because this is very significant for Thailand. And what is your impression after, first of all, what is your idea why you set this event?
Well, we set this event because the U.S. business community cares very much about Thailand and its people and its success. And it's not a new story. Mm-hmm. It's actually one that began at the start of our relationship 183 years ago with the Treaty of Amity and Commerce, built on trade. Mm-hmm. And America and Thailand have been partners in business for that entire period of time. And so that continues today. America is the number 2, maybe, investor in Thailand. And we have hundreds of thousands of Thai employees of our multinational companies in Thailand.
So does the outcome of the meeting, of the event tonight, meet your expectation?
Well, I think it did, and the Prime Minister was at his top of his game in terms of addressing the business community and some of our concerns around intellectual property, around the infrastructure of Thailand, and around the opportunities to work together. It was an important symbol of the importance that Thailand and the Prime Minister place in the relationship with the American business community, and we're glad that he made time in his busy schedule for us.
So in your opinion, after listening to the Prime Minister's speech, what are the key messages that you can get from his speech tonight?
Well, he covered quite a broad range of topics, and I think the biggest message was that American partners and investors are welcome in Thailand, and that the business relationship, which is strong, he hopes will get stronger through greater protection of intellectual property rights, through his good governance campaign and the stamping out of corruption in Thailand, and through the special economic zones that he hopes will attract additional American investors.
And I hope that what the Prime Minister have outlined during his speech, delivering his speech, would be able to at least create a better understanding, create the confidence among the U.S. private sectors?
Well, I think it did, and one of the things he talked about was TPP. And obviously, we believe in the U.S. business community, at the U.S. ASEAN Business Council, that TPP is an opportunity not only for American business, but for all of the businesses within the member countries of TPP. And one key country that's not a part of TPP right now is Thailand. It's the second largest economy in all of ASEAN. And really, if TPP is going to be successful, Thailand needs to be a part of it. And I'm glad to hear that the Prime Minister's statement that Thailand is reviewing it and he hopes that someday Thailand will be a part of the TPP.
I'm sure that tonight's event is a kind of a mutual benefit for not only for you, but also for Thailand. But I'm sure that Prime Minister was very happy to be here. And of course, he mentioned that he learned many things from the United States. And I'm thankful to you for arranging this event. Well, thank you very much, and I hope that this very constructive event will happen again in the near future.
Well, we hope to actually bring a couple business delegations to Thailand this year in May and potentially in August or July.
Okay, then see you in Thailand. Oh, thank you very much. สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ ขอบคุณมากครับ
Well, Deputy Prime Minister Somkit Jatusi-Pitak has said the Prime Minister is preparing to travel to Russia to enhance trade ties this May. Dr. Somkit has welcomed First Deputy Minister of Economic Development, Alexei Likhachev, who traveled to Thailand to make preparations for Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha's scheduled mission to Russia in May. Mr. Likhachev used the meeting to assure that Russia is ready to engage in agreements with Thailand and expand economic cooperation. The Prime Minister has prepared a delegation of industry representatives and members of the Thai Chamber of Commerce for the trip, with the intention of fostering trade negotiations. A major objective of the trip will be to establish new trade ties in the food sector to replace those with Turkey. Meanwhile, the Deputy Prime Minister for Legal Affairs has affirmed that the government and the National Council for Peace and Order, or NCPO, are confident in the performance of the Constitution Drafting Commission, or CDC. Deputy Prime Minister Wisanu Krungam said that he is personally satisfied with the new draft charter presented by the CDC, despite the mixed reception. Nevertheless, both the government and the NCPO will not get involved in the charter drafting process because they are confident in the capabilities of the CDC. Dr. Wisanu dispelled rumors that the CDC has been trying to put off the next election, saying the Prime Minister has already affirmed that the general election will take place in 2017. A CDC spokesperson has denied claims that the charter drafters have been ordered to shorten the term of the National Reform Steering Assembly, or NRSA. CDC spokesperson Amon Wanitwiwat said that there has been misunderstanding about his comments regarding the NRSA. Mr. Amon had been quoted in some reports as saying that the NRSA's term was to be cut short because of the Assembly's slow progress. However, the CDC spokesperson insisted on Thursday that he never made such a comment or said that some senior figures have ordered the premature dissolution of the reform body. Mr. Amon said that he only suggested that the reporters ask the senior figures directly if the decision to shorten the NRSA's term was suggested by any of them. The National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, has reviewed bills to improve reimbursement for individuals wrongly convicted of criminal offenses. The NLA's latest sitting reviewed a legislation proposal from the Cabinet on reimbursing those who have had their criminal sentences reversed. Deputy Prime Minister Wisanu Krungam explained that the law needs to be amended because many of those affected are unaware of their rights and the damage payments to which they may be entitled. The new legislation would mandate that such rights be explicitly communicated to the individual or their relatives and that in cases where a guilty ruling is overturned, a panel be set up to decide appropriate compensation. Members of the NLA have agreed that the law should be brought up to international standards and made convenient for those wronged. A total of 174 members voted to approve the proposed legislation, with no votes against and 3 abstentions. A 15-member subcommittee has been established to revise the draft law within 60 days. The Minister of Energy has inspected the stockpiles of LPG gas of PTT in Chonburi Province while calling for the procurement of new trains to enhance the efficiency of rail transport. Energy Minister General Anantapon Kantanarat inspected the LPG storage sites which ship natural gas to the northern and northeastern regions. Every day, as much as 600 tons of LPG is shipped to Nakhon Sawan Province, and another 600 to 800 tons shipped to Khon Kaen Province. In addition, the Energy Minister has urged PTT to hold discussions with the State Railway of Thailand for the supply of 10 trains to optimize rail transport under the 4 billion baht investment policy. Rail transportation is noted for being able to deliver large volumes of goods at half the cost of road transport. The locomotive procurement program is expected to be concluded in 2018. Director General of the Public Relations Department, or PRD, Aphinan Jantarangsi, has traveled to Chanthaburi Province to hand down PR policy to local officials. Director of the PRD Office, Region 7, Chalermchai Jantarasena, welcomed Mr. Aphinan upon his arrival before they attended a religious ceremony which marked the 19th anniversary of the PRD Office, Region 7. Mr. Aphinan presented awards to the Region 7 Office and Radio Thailand Chanthaburi for Best PR Work and Best Regional Radio Broadcast Program in the East of Thailand, respectively. The PRD Director General later presented his policy to local PRD officials and related agencies. He encouraged them to do their best and relay important information to the public promptly and correctly. Mr. Aphinan also later that day presided over the opening ceremony of the PRD 7 to be #1 Club and Friends Corner. Both places were initiated by Her Royal Highness Princess Uvonrat to curb the use of drugs among teenagers and young adults. Members of the PRD 7 to be #1 Club and Friends Corner will enjoy various sports and recreational programs that will help them develop healthy lifestyles and keep them off drugs. Thai media professionals participated in a 2-day intensive workshop on climate change and disaster risk management, co-organized by the Public Relations Department, or PRD, and the Asia Pacific Institute for Broadcasting Development, or AIBD. Media professionals took part in activities related to the importance of communicating the varying climate trends in Thailand. In particular, there were discussions of effective methods to simplify technical knowledge so that important information could be easily understood via mass media. AIBD Program Manager Sakib Sheikh, who took part in the workshop, said that the media must play a strong role in communicating the effects of climate change and natural disasters.
We can't begin to get the public aware, and that's the job of the media. We are interpreters between those in the disaster field, those in the science field, to take what they know and to educate the public on that. And I think if the media can get the message that they have the role to save lives and to keep people safe, then there's a lot that can be done.
Besides natural disasters, those at the workshop also encouraged journalists to become more aware of man-made disasters that could be prevented. The workshop placed an emphasis on human activity that contributes to climate change and the media's role in spreading information on how the general public can mitigate their carbon footprint. Thailand will play host to the 2016 World Tourism Day in September. Permanent Secretary for Tourism and Sports, Pongpanu Sawettarun, chaired the meeting on the preparations for the World Tourism Day event, which will be held under the theme Tourism for All, promoting universal accessibility. The event features guest speakers from globally renowned tourism organizations, as well as tourism exhibitions and excursions to famous attractions in Bangkok and other provinces. The celebration will take place between September 26th and 28th. The United Nations World Tourism Organization, or UNWTO, designated September 27th as World Tourism Day to raise awareness of the importance of tourism for its social, cultural, political, and economic value. The UNWTO General Assembly last year chose Thailand as the host for this year's celebrations. The Permanent Secretary for Tourism and Sports said the government would take the opportunity to build a network between national-level tourism organizations and to show its readiness to welcome visitors from different countries. And that's it for today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. Up next in ASEAN News, a delegation from South Korea has visited Thailand to negotiate joint SME development and business matching. But before that, let's take a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
Thai. Created from Thai wisdom, used to be served on banana leaf, and the banana tree is used for practicing Muay Thai. Muay Thai was trained in the temples, which can be found on the mountains, in the caves, or on the water, everywhere, just like Pad Thai. There are thousands of other stories to discover. Discover your amazing stories in amazing Thailand.
ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. Due to recurring natural disasters in the ASEAN region, the ASEAN Committee on Disaster Management has become the main authority to coordinate emergency help during disasters. Moreover, there is background of cooperation in terms of environmental sustainability and restoration of natural forest land to reduce the impact of disasters. One vision, one identity, one community.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. A delegation from South Korea's government dealing with small and medium enterprises, or SMEs, has traveled to Thailand to follow up on negotiations initiated by Deputy Prime Minister Somkit Jatusipitak during his recent visit to the country. Director General of BMB and SMBA in South Korea, Baek Eun-man, is leading the delegation to engage in a series of meetings on joint SME development between Thailand and South Korea. The group has 11 business representatives from industries that include cosmetics, IT, and medical equipment, who are expected to take part in business matching sessions with 50 Thai SMEs. SME Bank Director Salini Wangpan made known that South Korea has indicated willingness to support Thai startups in the technology sector that wish to enter the South Korean market. The East Asian country will allow the new businesses to spend 1 year at its innovation center and negotiate development support with South Korean entrepreneurs. South Korea also intends to support Thailand in producing human resources for SMEs, with efforts likely to kick off in the latter half of this year. Let's take a look at the international news. Several homes and businesses were reportedly damaged when at least one tornado hit Tulsa, Oklahoma after midnight. Local news reported 7 people injured due to the storm, one of whom is in critical condition. Video showed a church missing a roof, which reportedly was blown off while worshippers were inside the building. Other footage showed some homes were reduced to piles of sticks, and residents could be seen assessing and attempting to fix some of the damage. Meanwhile, in Odessa, Texas, on Thursday, a huge fire raged and was reportedly fueled by high winds and dry conditions. An investigation is ongoing as to the cause of the fire. Several fire departments from the area collaborated in order to put out the flames. According to witnesses reported on local media, the flames had reached the heights of 60 to 70 feet at some stage. No injuries have been reported, however. Fans of Tesla Motors Inc. camped out overnight and stood in lines to put down deposits on its new, more affordable model due to be unveiled at an event today. In scenes reminiscent of the launch of Apple Inc. products, would-be buyers of the Silicon Valley carmakers Model 3 pitched tents and set up camping chairs on the sidewalk outside Tesla stores, which began taking pre-orders for the vehicle. Tesla chief executive Elon Musk plans to unveil a Model 3 prototype in Los Angeles on Friday. The vehicle will go into production in late 2017 and is expected to cost around $35,000 before tax breaks. The expected price tag of the Model 3 is about half the starting price of the Model S luxury sedan, which is faster than most of the priciest supercars around the globe. The more affordable model is critical to Tesla's growth plans as it moves into a broader consumer segment. Tesla shares closed up 2.8% at $229.77 on Thursday on the Nasdaq, ahead of the Model 3's public debut. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook or visit our website at thainews.prd.go.th/en. For today, we're going to say goodbye with footage of the majestic creatures at the elephant shelter in Mae On District, Chiang Mai Province. I'm Surapat Lautararit. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day. สวัสดีครับ